Jack Stone, known across the globe as the strongest man on Earth, led a life of quiet simplicity. Despite his incredible strength, he preferred the peace of his small town, where he spent his days training, enjoying the company of his family, and helping his neighbors with whatever they needed. Jack was a man of few words, but his actions spoke volumes. He was a protector by nature, always willing to lend a hand. One warm summer evening, as the sun began to set and the sky turned shades of orange and pink, Jack noticed something strange. The air felt heavier, and the usual sounds of nature seemed to fade. He looked up and saw the sky darkening in a way he had never seen before. Thick black clouds gathered unnaturally fast, and soon they completely covered the sky. Before anyone could understand what was happening, the clouds parted to reveal massive, ominous ships descending from above. They were unlike anything Jack or anyone on Earth had ever seen, huge, metallic, and menacing, with lights that glowed a cold, eerie blue. The ships moved silently, casting a shadow over the land. Panic spread quickly. People ran out of their homes, staring up at the sky in terror. The news spread like wildfire. Aliens had arrived on Earth. Jack's heart pounded in his chest. He had always known that something like this could happen, but he never expected it to be so sudden, so real. As the ships landed, their massive doors opened, and the aliens emerged. They were tall, with metallic skin that seemed to shimmer in the dim light. Their eyes glowed a menacing red, and they moved with a precision that was unnerving. The alien leader, the tallest of them all, stepped forward. He was a fearsome sight, towering over everyone, with a deep, commanding voice that echoed through the streets. "We have come to conquer your planet," the alien leader announced, his voice cold and devoid of any emotion. The crowd gasped in fear. The aliens began to spread out, their weapons drawn, ready to subdue anyone who resisted. Jack clenched his fists, feeling the weight of the situation settle on his broad shoulders. He had never wanted to be a hero, but in that moment he knew he had no choice. The world was in danger, and someone had to stand up to these invaders. He looked at his family, who stood frozen in fear beside him. His wife's eyes were wide with terror, and his children clung to her, trembling. Jack knew he couldn't let anything happen to them. He couldn't let anything happen to anyone. "This is my world," Jack said, his voice steady and strong. "And I won't let anyone take it from us." The alien leader turned to face him, amused by the defiance of this human. "You are brave, human," the leader said, "but bravery alone will not save you." Jack didn't respond with words. Instead, he prepared himself for the battle that was to come. He knew that the fight would be difficult, that the odds were against him. But he also knew that he couldn't back down. Jack Stone stood in the heart of the city, his muscles tensed and his mind focused. The once bustling streets were now empty, the people having fled in terror. The towering buildings around him cast long shadows as the sun began to set, but Jack had no time to appreciate the beauty of the evening. He was focused on the task at hand, defending his home from the alien invaders. The aliens had taken over the city with terrifying efficiency. Their advanced technology allowed them to dismantle human defenses with ease, and their weapons were far more powerful than anything Earth had ever seen. But Jack was not afraid. He was the strongest man on Earth, and he had something the aliens did not: a fierce determination to protect his world. As Jack walked down the deserted street, he saw the first group of aliens ahead. They were tall, their metallic skin reflecting the fading light, and their red eyes glowing ominously. They moved with a precision that made them seem more like machines than living beings. Jack could see they were heavily armed, their weapons glowing with an otherworldly energy. Without hesitation, Jack charged forward. His speed was incredible, and before the aliens could react, he was upon them. With a mighty swing of his fist, he struck the first alien, sending it crashing into a nearby wall. The impact was so powerful that the wall crumbled, and the alien lay motionless in the rubble. The other aliens turned to face him, their weapons aimed and ready. They fired beams of energy at Jack, but he was too quick. He dodged the blasts with agility that belied his massive frame. He leaped over a fallen streetlight, using it as a springboard to launch himself at the nearest alien. His fists were like sledgehammers, each punch delivering a devastating blow. One by one, the aliens fell before Jack's relentless assault. Despite their advanced technology and superior numbers, they were no match for his sheer strength and determination. Jack fought with a fury that surprised even him, his anger and fear for his family fueling his every move. But the aliens were not easily defeated. More of them appeared, seemingly endless in number. Jack knew he couldn't keep this up forever. He needed to find a way to end this quickly, to strike a blow that would send a message to the invaders. As he fought, Jack noticed something strange. The aliens seemed to be communicating with each other, their red eyes flickering in a pattern. They were coordinating their attacks, trying to overwhelm him with their numbers. Jack realized he needed to disrupt their communication if he was going to have any chance of winning this battle. He spotted a large alien standing at the back of the group, holding a device that seemed to be controlling the others. Jack knew that if he could take out that alien, he might be able to turn the tide of the battle. With a roar, Jack charged toward the alien leader, ignoring the blasts of energy that flew past him. He focused all his strength on reaching that one target, knowing that everything depended on it. The alien leader saw him coming and raised its weapon, but Jack was too fast. He grabbed the alien's arm, twisting it with such force that the weapon clattered to the ground. With a powerful uppercut, Jack sent the alien leader flying into the air, where it crashed into the side of a building and fell to the ground, unmoving. The other aliens hesitated, their red eyes flickering uncertainly. Without their leader to guide them, they seemed lost, unsure of what to do next. Jack didn't give them a chance to recover. He moved quickly, taking down the remaining aliens with a series of powerful blows. When the last alien had fallen, Jack stood alone in the middle of the street, breathing heavily. The battle had been fierce, but he had won. The city was quiet again, the only sound the distant hum of alien ships hovering in the sky. Jack knew this was just the beginning. The aliens would be back, and they would come in greater numbers. But for now, he had struck a blow for humanity. He had shown the aliens that Earth was not a place they could conquer easily. As the sun finally set, casting the city in darkness, Jack stood tall, ready for whatever came next. The fight was far from over, but he was prepared to face it head-on. He was Earth's strongest man, and he would not rest until his planet was safe. Word of Jack Stone's incredible victory against the aliens spread like wildfire. In a world gripped by fear and despair, his actions ignited a spark of hope. People who had been hiding in fear began to emerge, inspired by the tale of a man who stood against the invaders and won. It wasn't long before groups of survivors started to band together, forming small resistance cells across the country. Jack, however, was not content with small victories. He knew that to truly defend Earth, they needed to unite these fragmented groups into a single powerful resistance. Jack returned to his hometown, where he was greeted as a hero. The people there looked at him with newfound respect and admiration. But Jack didn't let it go to his head. He had seen the destruction the aliens were capable of, and he knew that the real fight was still ahead. Gathering the town's leaders, Jack proposed a plan. "We need to organize," he said, his voice firm and commanding. "The aliens won't stop until they've taken everything. We need to hit them back, hard, and for that, we need to work together." The leaders agreed, and Jack quickly set about training the townspeople. He taught them how to fight, how to defend themselves, and how to use the limited resources they had to their advantage. Under his guidance, the town became a fortress, ready to withstand whatever the aliens threw at them. But Jack knew that defending one town wasn't enough. The aliens were attacking all over the world, and if they were going to win this war, they needed to take the fight to the enemy. He reached out to other resistance groups, using radio signals and makeshift communication networks to coordinate their efforts. Slowly but surely, the resistance grew, uniting under Jack's leadership. The aliens, however, were not idle. They continued their assaults, their forces growing more organized and determined. They adapted to the humans' tactics, and their attacks became more strategic. Jack realized that the aliens were studying them, learning from their mistakes, and becoming even more dangerous. Despite the increasing threat, Jack and his resistance fighters didn't back down. They used guerrilla tactics, striking fast and hard, hitting the aliens where it hurt the most. They targeted supply lines, destroyed alien outposts, and disrupted their communication networks. Jack led many of these missions himself, always at the front lines, showing his people that he was willing to fight alongside them. The resistance fighters began to see Jack as more than just a leader. He was a symbol of hope, a beacon of strength in the darkest of times. His unyielding determination inspired them to push beyond their limits, to fight even when the odds seemed impossible. But the reality of the war was harsh. The aliens' technology was far superior, and every victory came at a cost. The resistance lost many good people in the fight, and each loss weighed heavily on Jack. He spent many nights alone, reflecting on the sacrifices that had been made, and wondering how much more they could endure. One evening, after a particularly brutal battle, Jack gathered his closest advisors. They had just managed to repel a large alien force, but the cost had been high. Jack looked at the tired, battered faces around him and knew that something had to change. "We can't keep fighting like this," Jack said, his voice heavy with exhaustion. "The aliens are wearing us down. We need to strike at the heart of their operation. We need to take out their leader." The room fell silent as everyone considered Jack's words. It was a risky plan, one that could cost them everything, but they all knew that Jack was right. If they didn't take decisive action, the resistance would eventually crumble under the relentless pressure. Over the next few days, Jack and his team gathered intelligence on the alien leader's whereabouts. They studied the aliens' movements, looking for any pattern or weakness they could exploit. It wasn't long before they identified a location, a heavily fortified base, that seemed to be the center of the aliens' operations on Earth. The plan was simple but dangerous. Jack would lead a small team into the heart of the base, while the rest of the resistance created a diversion to draw the alien forces away. It was a long shot, but it was their best chance to end the invasion once and for all. As the day of the mission approached, Jack took a moment to address his fighters. "We've come a long way," he said, looking into the eyes of the men and women who had fought by his side. "We've lost friends, family, and homes. But we've also shown the world that we won't be defeated. Today, we take the fight to them. Today, we show them that Earth isn't a planet they can conquer." The resistance cheered, their spirits lifted by Jack's words. They were ready to follow him into the depths of the alien base, no matter the cost. Jack knew the risks, but he also knew that this was their best chance at victory. With a final nod to his team, Jack prepared to lead them into the most dangerous battle of their lives. The time had come to take the fight to the aliens and end the invasion once and for all. The day had come. Jack Stone stood at the edge of the alien base, hidden in the shadows with his small team of resistance fighters. The base was enormous, a sprawling complex of dark metal structures that hummed with energy. Towers of strange machinery reached into the sky, surrounded by a force field that glowed a faint blue. It was clear that this was the heart of the alien operation on Earth, and it was heavily guarded. The plan was simple but dangerous. The main resistance force was creating a diversion several miles away, launching an all-out assault on another alien outpost to draw as many troops away from the base as possible. Jack and his team were tasked with infiltrating the base during the chaos, locating the alien leader, and eliminating him. It was a mission that would determine the fate of the entire planet. Jack and his team moved quickly and silently through the shadows, avoiding the patrols of alien soldiers. The air was thick with tension as they approached the entrance to the base. The guards were fewer in number than expected, a sign that the diversion was working. Still, every step they took was filled with danger. One wrong move, and the entire base would be alerted to their presence. As they slipped inside the base, the interior was a maze of corridors and chambers, all lit by the same eerie blue glow. The walls were lined with alien technology, and the air was filled with the low hum of machinery. Jack led the way, his senses heightened, every muscle in his body ready for action. They encountered their first group of alien soldiers near a control room. The aliens were taller and more imposing up close, their metallic skin gleaming under the lights. But Jack didn't hesitate. He signaled to his team, and they launched a surprise attack. The fight was fast and brutal. Jack's fists were like sledgehammers, and within moments, the aliens were defeated. The team moved quickly, leaving no trace of the battle behind. They continued deeper into the base, avoiding detection as they went. Jack could feel the weight of the mission pressing down on him. They were close now, close to the leader who had brought so much destruction to Earth. The thought of facing this alien, the mastermind behind the invasion, made his blood boil. He was determined to end this once and for all. Finally, they reached the central chamber. The doors were massive, towering above them, and flanked by two of the largest alien guards Jack had ever seen. These were elite soldiers, clearly designed to protect the leader at all costs. Jack knew that there was no sneaking past them. This would be a fight to the finish. Without waiting for orders, Jack charged forward. His team followed, engaging the guards in a fierce battle. The elite aliens were stronger and faster than any they had faced before, their movements a blur of deadly precision. But Jack was relentless. He dodged a powerful strike from one of the guards, countering with a blow that dented the alien's metallic armor. The guard staggered, and Jack seized the opportunity, delivering a crushing punch that sent the alien crashing to the ground. The second guard lunged at Jack, but his team intervened, drawing the alien's attention long enough for Jack to land a decisive hit. The guard fell, and the team quickly regrouped. The entrance to the leader's chamber was now unguarded. With a deep breath, Jack pushed open the massive doors. The chamber was vast, with high ceilings and walls lined with strange, glowing symbols. In the center of the room, on a raised platform, stood the alien leader. He was even more imposing than Jack had imagined, tall, with a regal presence, his metallic skin shimmering with an otherworldly light. His red eyes glowed with intelligence and malice as he looked down at Jack and his team. "So, you are the human who has been causing us so much trouble," the alien leader said, his voice deep and resonant. "You are strong, but strength alone will not save your planet." Jack stepped forward, his fists clenched. "You've underestimated us from the start. We're not just fighting for survival, we're fighting for our home." The alien leader smirked, a cold, calculated expression. "You are brave, but bravery is meaningless in the face of superior power." With that, the leader raised his hand, and the entire chamber seemed to come alive. The walls shifted, and weapons emerged from hidden compartments, aimed directly at Jack and his team. The leader's red eyes gleamed as he prepared to unleash his attack. But Jack was ready. He charged at the leader with a speed that caught the alien off guard. Dodging the automated weapons, Jack closed the distance between them in an instant. The alien leader barely had time to react before Jack's fist connected with his chest, sending him stumbling back. The fight that followed was intense and brutal. The alien leader was fast, his movements almost too quick to follow. He struck with the precision of a seasoned warrior, his blows powerful enough to shatter stone. But Jack's strength and determination were unmatched. He fought with everything he had, every punch fueled by the memories of the destruction the aliens had caused. The chamber shook with the force of their battle. Jack's team took cover, knowing that this fight was between their leader and the alien. The alien leader unleashed a flurry of attacks, but Jack dodged and countered with devastating blows. With each strike, the alien's confidence seemed to waver. Finally, with a roar of defiance, Jack delivered a powerful punch that sent the alien leader crashing to the ground. The leader struggled to rise, but Jack didn't give him a chance. He grabbed the alien by the throat, lifting him off the ground. "This is for Earth," Jack growled, his voice filled with anger and resolve. With one final, earth-shattering punch, he ended the alien leader's reign of terror. The chamber fell silent as the alien leader's body hit the floor, lifeless. Jack stood over him, breathing heavily, his fists still clenched. The fight was over. The leader of the invasion was dead. Jack's team slowly emerged from their cover, their faces a mix of relief and awe. They had done it. They had defeated the alien leader and struck a blow that would be felt across the galaxy. But Jack didn't celebrate. He knew that while this battle was won, the war was not yet over. The alien forces were still on Earth, and there was much work to be done. But for now, they had achieved a great victory. As they left the chamber, Jack looked back at the fallen leader one last time. He had kept his promise to protect his planet, but he knew that this was just one step in a long and difficult journey. The fight for Earth was far from over, but Jack Stone was ready for whatever came next. The alien ships left Earth, retreating into space. The world was saved, and Jack Stone was a hero. But Jack didn't feel like a hero. He had lost friends, seen the destruction of cities, and fought in battles that no one should have to fight. But he also knew that he had protected his planet, his family, and his people. And for that, he was proud. The world began to rebuild, and Jack returned to his simple life. But he knew that if the aliens ever returned, he would be ready. For now, Earth was safe, thanks to the strongest man on the planet.